Every practice needs a little TLC. And we try to teach that all the time. TLC, every single practice. There's got to be some teaching. That's the letter T. There's got to be some what are you teaching? Does it fit your style of play? Is it a new concept? Is it are you tweaking an older concept? But you have to teach. Learning. How do we know our kids are learning? Just because we've taught something, and let me backtrack, just because we've told our players something to do doesn't mean they've learned it. So we need to be able to measure if they have learned or if they have not learned a particular skill or a concept. How do you measure learning? One way might be to ask players. Say, okay, why are we doing this? See if they understand it. Or get a player, say, okay, we just ran an out of bounds play, number one. I want one of you players now to teach it to the rest of us. And so that way you're putting your kids on a spot in a certain manner so that they can demonstrate whether or not they've learned a skill or a drill. We ask kids all the time to ask questions. And you can tell by the questions they ask whether or not they're learning. Other teaching techniques would have to do with watching video. Watching video is a teaching technique. We use a debrief, and I've explained the debrief earlier. The debrief is an amazing teaching and learning concept. So kids are teaching each other when they're doing their debrief, and they're learning from each other in the debrief. The C part is competition. All right. You want to have competitive drills as often as you can in every single practice. So there's teaching, there's learning, and there's competition. If you're not offering any competition in practice, then as soon as you have your game on Saturday, all right, it's competitive. So right away it's competitive. Think of the drills you do now without any defense. How can you add defense? How can you make it competitive? Sometimes you can make a drill competitive by just simply keeping score. All right. So as soon as you keep score, that changes things. And it's a way of competing. So teaching, learning, competition. Every practice needs a little TLC.